Hello, hello. Welcome to the Mystic Path. This is going to be your Saturn in retrograde reading. Okay. I read a little something the other day that kind of spurred this idea that, everybody knows what Mercury retrograde is and gives it the blame for everything. And nobody really talks about Saturn retrograde, and it's a big deal as well. So I kind of wanted to talk about it. We'll read this thing I found online. We'll kind of talk about the information I channeled, and then we'll pull a couple of cards. We're going to pull a Beyond Lemuria card, and then we'll pull an Archangel Metatron card. Both of these books have long explanations that are also really good and informative. So, okay. So we've just come out of several months of Mercury in retrograde, and we moved out of Mercury in retrograde on June 3rd, and now from June 4th to October 23rd, Saturn's gonna be in retrograde, okay? And, Mercury retrograde brought up a lot of stuff that we have to look at. I'm sure it brought up stuff for you personally as well. It did for most of us. And then it brought up stuff in the collective. Like, for example, think about all the stuff that's been happening over the last Mercury retrograde, right? There's still war going on in Ukraine. Very inhumane things happening. Globally, we're having supply chain issues. In America recently, we've had a baby formula shortage, which is crazy because there literally hasn't been enough food for the babies that are here to eat. It's been chaos. We're experiencing lots of supply chain issues, and I feel like this stuff is being brought up for humans to start asking ourselves the hard questions and to start noticing that we're over consuming to the detriment of the planet, right? We're overproducing, we're mass producing things too much. We are over consuming. We're becoming this throwaway society where it's we don't even know what to do with all the trash, so let's just bury it in the earth. And we're not even thinking about any of the consequences or anything for that. I think those issues, the reason we're having supply chain issues, right, and shortages of things and trouble getting things is because the universe is forcing us to look at our habits and our behaviors. And is what we're doing in alignment with the universe, in alignment with harmony for all of us that are here? And, no, it's not, right? I was just reading the other day, the monarch butterfly is almost on the endangered species list. And so then I was I want more information about this, right? So I started Googling it and reading some research. And what I found was that they're pretty much an endangered species already. There's just no money to put them on the list and to try to rehabilitate them. So, and again, what's being done about that? We're already losing the bees. Now we're losing the butterflies. We're losing lots and lots of species of animals and insects and plants. And it's nobody seems to care. We just keep overproducing. We keep inventing new things. And listen, I'm just as guilty as everyone else. I try my best to be a minimalist. And I kind of have several rules for myself. If I buy something, if something comes into my house, something goes out, right? So I really try to not buy things unless something is broken, right? My TV recently, I've had this TV I've had for 10 years. It is still an excellent TV, and just the speaker went out, so there was no sound. So instead of just throwing the TV in a landfill, because you know that's what's going to happen, and getting a new one, I just ordered a sound bar and hooked it into the TV so that I can still, because there was nothing wrong with the TV and the picture. It was just there was no sound. So I solved that problem, because I feel like I don't just want to throw it out and go get a new TV. Like, I try really hard to, reduce, reuse, recycle, right? And I try my best. I have my own garden. I try to compost, right? I try to make as little trash as possible, although that's really hard in the world we live in because of the way we package things. Another thing I do is once a year in between Christmas and New Year's, those weird days where there's really no holiday. It's like Christmas hangover, right? But New Year's is coming. I take those days and I clean out the closets in my house. And I have a rule. If I haven't used it, worn it in a year, then it gets donated. And then I donate to veterans organizations because the veterans really struggle in the United States, sadly, and they really put a lot on the line to serve, to be of service. So I try my best, but I'm just as guilty as everyone else, right? Like, I want candles, I buy candles. I try my best to, when I can, make my own candles. I try my best to use natural things. Like, I'm trying to live and flow with the universe, but sometimes my life bumps up against that, and sometimes I need to go buy a microwave or whatever it is. I just do my best to do it responsibly. Something else I also try to do is there's this sock company called Bombas. They're great socks, but they're expensive socks. But the cool thing about the socks is if you buy a pair of socks, they give a pair of socks to somebody in need. I kind of got off on a tangent there, but that's because I want to bring this up because we're going to be talking about Saturn retrograde, which has to do a lot with karma. So I kind of wanted to talk about that because I feel like what's going to be happening is humanity now is having to deal with our karma for our bad behavior in regards to the earth, right? Our farming practices, our manufacturing practices, we're doing a lot of things that are just not in alignment with the universe, with nature, with how we know things flow and work, right? And I heard something interesting. Somebody said, humans are living on the earth, not with it. And I was like, man, that is such a good statement because that's the truth. Like, we're supposed to be living with the earth. And instead we're living on it and then doing what we think, doing whatever we want with the earth. We're burying trash in it. We're putting chemicals all over it. We're ruining the water sources. And in some places, the water sources are drying up. So my point is, all of these things are happening in Mercury retrograde to kind of bring them to the surface for us to deal with and face, right? And now we're moving into Saturn retrograde, which we're going to talk about because that's more about karma. Okay, so Saturn retrograde is going to go from June 4th to October 23rd. I don't know if I said that yet. It's going to last all summer, and this has to do with karma, right? So I feel like the baby formula shortage, the supply chain issues, these are all the climate change and severe weather, right? This is all karma we're receiving for our behaviors as humans that are in alignment with the universe. And we're just not doing things in balance. We're just taking without any regard for the fact that the earth is struggling right now and trying to repair a lot of the damage that we've accelerated as humans. So Saturn, in astrology, Saturn is considered like the lord of structure, discipline, authority, and karma. Okay? Saturn will bring us challenges that will leave you feeling tried, tested, and it will also, though, help you adjust to be more in alignment, more closely to your soul's purpose. So it may be painful, right? Learning lessons, getting karma, because, what you put out karmically, you get back. If you treat somebody badly, that's gonna boomerang back, and you're gonna get treated badly by somebody. So you can learn both sides of the coin, right? And on the other hand, dharma is good karma. So if you're somebody who volunteers, takes care of elderly people, takes care of orphans, goes and helps in the war zone, humanitarian, then you're going to get dharma back, which is like you're going to get abundance and balance and growth because you're putting out things that are good for everyone, good for harmony, good for alignment, right? Saturn is going to help us align more closely with our soul's purpose, which one is a good thing, right? Because, okay, I'm just checking to make sure I'm recording because I had a little snafu earlier. There's going to be either karma for a lot of us or dharma for some of us. And karma can be challenging, right? Because those are things that are going to challenge us and teach us lessons and help us get more aligned with like who we are as a soul and what our soul purpose is. But that challenges sometimes can be rough, right? Saturn is kind of considered like the strict parent that brings things we need. They're not things we always want, but they're things we need, like boundaries, like constructive criticism, like self-awareness, okay? If you embrace the energy of Saturn, it will push you to be the best, strongest version of yourself. If you resist it, you're gonna have some struggles, okay? So let me read this thing I found, kind of wrapping up what I just channeled in a nutshell. And then we're going to pull a couple of cards because I just thought it would be fun. Because everybody talks about Mercury retrograde like it's the redheaded stepchild, right? And nobody ever really talks about Saturn retrograde, and they all serve their purpose. Okay. So this retrograde, Saturn retrograde, usually begins in the summer and ends in the fall. Why does Saturn retrograde matter? Because all the karma, right? We just kind of talked about that a little bit. This means we are about to enter a phase of karmic rebalancing within the universe. This karma will include delays, setbacks, misery, obstacles, financial issues, debts, health issues, etc. If you have any pending karmic debts, if you have good karma coming to you, that soon also will be served all on a platter. If you have been living right, setting and sticking to boundaries, taking care of your responsibilities, doing things on the positive side, trying to be in alignment and do your work and heal and grow, then the universe will be dishing out good karma within your life, which is dharma, right? You will feel the weight of your shoulders ease up as you become open to accepting your karmic rewards. This is a wonderful time to reflect on the karmic lessons you've endured in the past year or so. We start to feel the effects of each retrograde during any pre-shadow, post-shadow. So chances are many of you are already feeling Saturn's effects. A good thing about Saturn's retrograde, whichever parts of your life you've been overextending yourself or overdoing it to perfection, those parts you will be able to relax a little bit, shine, and reap the benefits of all your hard work. Okay? Now is the time to slow down and simplify things in your life. Do not take on extra work this summer or attempt to expand whatever it is you spend a lot of time doing, because Saturn will not hesitate to put you back in your place. Lastly, since Saturn rules karma, if you've been having bad experiences with other individuals, it's time to sit back, because Saturn will rebalance it all. Okay? So we kind of talked about that a little bit. Some people will be getting dharma, which is good karma. Some people this summer will probably be getting karmic lessons, which challenge us and help us grow, right? They're not always fun to go through, but to be a better person, sometimes, you know, what am I always saying? I probably haven't said it in a while, but caterpillars have to turn themselves into goo to become the butterfly, right? And the goo process, sometimes, most of the time, isn't always the most enjoyable part, right? But the transformation that occurs after the goo is what we're here for. Okay? All right. So let's pull, I don't know if I said already, we're going to pull from the Archangel Metatron and Beyond Lemuria. Okay? So first, let's pull Beyond Lemuria. One card, please. What messages do we need for the Summer of Saturn Retrograde? The Summer of Saturn Retrograde. I think that's going to be the title of this video. Okay. All right. One card, please. What's a message for us on the Summer Saturn Retrograde? All right. Life Force Energy is the one they want me to take. All right. And let's pull one Metatron card, please. It's funny, these are really hard and stiff, and these are easy to shuffle. It's like two extremes today. Okay. One card, please, Metatron. Okay. Is that it? No? Okay. One card, please, on Saturn Retrograde. One card. All right. Thank you. Ooh, Kundalini. Okay. Interesting. Look at this. Life Force Energy and Kundalini, untapped energy. I mean, and look at, they're both so colorful. They're both kind of very similar. Nice. Okay. So, let's read here. Okay, let's read Life Force Energy first. Card 34. All right. Energy, mana, ayana, the rainbow spectrum, bright white light, Reiki, celebrating life, God force, optimal health, being vibrantly alive, thriving nature, conscious consumption, Eden. Ooh, conscious consumption. We were just talking about that. I was talking about we need to start asking ourselves the hard questions about, are we over consuming? Look at that. Love it. Okay. Eden, the body as a temple, bringing earth into balance, cell rejuvenation, the love of the land. What happens when we seek to maximize the life force energy in everything we do? Toward the completion of this oracle deck, I was called to visit Hawaii. I heard it is known to be the last remaining part of the lost continent of Lemuria. I went with an open mind and was sincerely blown away by the incredible level of life force energy radiated there. I am an avid traveler and seeker of high vibrational places, but had never experienced such potency of the magic, the main inspiration of my art, in every cell of every bright green leaf. I could sense the songs of Lemuria in this pristine place. I discovered I had been dreaming of this place my whole life. The crystalline waters, rainbow diffused skies, exotic flowers, and opulent plant life was so present that you couldn't help but see a radiant aura around everything. Ayana is a Hawaiian term for energy and sacred land. It seems to me that mana and Ayana are one and the same. One day when I was sitting on Red Sand Beach, I had a vision of an overlaying dimension that spanned our physical world. This overlay was the God force or life force in its purest and highest vibration. The vision presented an array of objects familiar to this physical plane, from lower vibrational concrete, processed chemicals, and suffering imbued consumables, to the higher biodynamic earthly offerings and the vibrant lands that surrounded me at that moment. This is amazing because I was just talking about like all these processed chemicals and consumables. It's giving me chills. The experience imprinted the depths of my being with the remembering that we can bring this beautiful blue planet back to its former glory, starting with our own temples and personal pieces of Eden. I realized that maximizing one's life force energy was the gateway to bridging heaven and earth. By aligning our choices with this higher frequency, we will naturally create more opportunities to ground this somehow forgotten light. When we know the joy of this life force within and around us and are vibrantly alive, we can't help but inspire others to choose the same. It is time for celebration. Revel in the bliss of being alive. This is an incredibly healing card packed with luminous life force energy for optimal health and healing. It reminds you to seek joy and upliftment in everything you do, as much as it is possible. Consider the foods you eat, the environments you spend your time in, the people in your life, and even the things you wear. Increase your awareness of their journey, how they came to be in your world, and their energetic resonance. Are they alive and vibrant? You may also be inspired to work with healing energies such as Reiki, or with the land, perhaps to grow vegetables. You are encouraged to joyously make your life a piece of Eden. As a result, you will shine with vitality. I mean, such a cool message. Thank you so much, universe. And I went off on that tangent earlier, and I was talking, right, about consuming and having a garden and all of that. And it's like that card just reiterated all of that. It's amazing. Oh, and look what else is interesting. This card is 34, and this card is 35. Okay? So cool. All right, Metatron, Kundalini. Kundalini, untapped energy. Life is busy, and you may be time poor. Sometimes you feel particularly weary, yet you are encouraged to go within and realize the huge well of energy available to you to help support your path to enlightenment. It is there in your earthly vessel, the human body in which your eternal soul dwells. Like a burning furnace within you, the Kundalini fire energy depicted on this card needs tending and stoking. A fire that is forgotten will emit a quiet heat, but no real flames of passion or electrical current to awaken all that is available as raw primal energy, drive, and insight. Become aware of the coiled serpent at your base chakra. This part of you is just as real as anything else. Make friends with it. Be at peace with its presence and realize that within its coils, which wish to unfold upward, there is a raw power and divine essence that is yours and yours alone. Use it to ignite passion, to inspire ideas, or to receive spiritual truths. But first allow it to flow up your spine, warming each part with its light and color and energy. Tuning in now, ask yourself if you are aware of this vast energy reservoir within you. You can awaken it gently and train it via many practices: meditation, yoga, movement, dance. Maybe you wish to start such an activity now. Okay, keep that in mind. Those things may help us through this summer. Get through the challenges, get through the strict parenting of Saturn, okay? Meditation, yoga, movement, dance, or whatever it is for you, right? Like painting is one of the things for me. A fifth dimensional frequency will also naturally start to stir it and will give you an innate understanding of its location and any blocks as the Kundalini arises within you. Ask Metatron to guide this process. Take time. There is no rush. It is time for it now to awaken within you and for you to start to read and meditate on its presence within you. So much Kundalini teaching has focused on the chakras, and these are hugely important in understanding your holistic self. But the next step is sensing this bliss-like energy as it curls up your spine and back, releasing and purifying and being able to take you to higher states of consciousness than you had previously thought possible. An awakened, upgraded chakra system will result too. Look at the image on this card and absorb its colors and energy. Let it show you the state of your own Kundalini energy, dormant, awake, or half awake. There is no judgment and no right or wrong way for it to be. It is part of you. Integrate it and own it. It is there to help your spiritual path by igniting fire, color, and light within you to help you see, feel, hear, and taste with kaleidoscope senses. What an extraordinary hidden asset. Let Metatron unveil it for you at the right time and in the right manner. A truly awakened spirit awaits. So good. And then last minute, I'm being called to pull a goddess card to see to see what goddess will be supporting us this summer. Okay, the goddess power. All right, what goddess is supporting us during this Saturn retrograde? One card, please. What goddess will support us this summer? Okay. Haha. Sophia. Sophia. Divine wisdom. Beautiful. Okay. Human wisdom comes from personal experience, but divine wisdom is unknown to our life experience. When we ask for help, we are asking for guidance from the source greater than us, a great unknowable mystery. When we receive it, it is often life-altering and affects us in ways beyond our comprehension. The Gnostic goddess Sophia, who brought the material world into being, arrives to show you how fate and destiny operate in relationship to synchronicity. When you least expect it, opportunities and meetings spring up as if out of nowhere. Your life begins to work out, and you sense your alignment with a higher purpose and power. Trust you are divinely protected and directed. Practice the act of faith before results. This is an essential key in co-creating your world. When you are disconnected from your higher power, you begin to believe that you alone are the source of abundance in life. It is wise to commit to a conscious and deliberate daily connection to a higher power. When you forget to do this, you may place too much attention on materialism, work, money, goals, and the like. The goddess Sophia reminds you that it is the spiritual aspect and the invisible aspect, the essence of your desires, that means more than the form. You may be mistaking something false for divine guidance right now. It's time to come back into alignment and receive true divine guidance divested from wishful thinking or ego attachments. Opening to the wisdom of the mystery of the universe is your alignment task now. Let the goddess Sophia guide you to your magic. The most meaningful and beautiful expression of yourself is waiting for you. Very good, very good. And we're going to leave it there because that's just good. I'm going to leave you with this call to action today. Look at the life around you and ask yourself, what can I do? What are a few small things, right? Because I have a friend who always says, small shifts make big changes. And she's right. So what are a few small things you can do in your life to address overconsumption, materialism, and just see if this summer you can start to make those shifts, right? Because we know this summer is all about rebalancing and karma. And if you got some karmic lessons coming your way, it couldn't hurt to also start moving towards good deeds and alignment. Have a wonderful rest of your day, week, weekend, night, whatever it is for you. Sending you lots of love and light. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.